We are just swimming in a sea of disconnected information, right? You've got facts, numbers, stories, all flying at us. So how on earth do we make sense of it all? Well, it turns out we're hardwired to find patterns, to build narratives. It's just what we do. So let's just grab a few random pieces out of that chaos and see what we've got.
Okay, first up, we've got this, a case number. Specifically from a court in Dade County, Missouri. That's it. It's super official, totally impersonal, and completely without any context. It's just one tiny thread in this giant, tangled web of bureaucracy.
All right, now for something completely different. How about this? A quote from a documentary. And it's talking about people seeing, wait for it, reptilian-type humanoid beings coming out of the world's largest cave. So just like that, we've leaped from a sterile courtroom to a story about underground lizard people. I mean, talk about a different kind of data. A totally different reality, really. And to throw one more thing into the mix, here's a social media post. This one is raw. It's emotional. It's somebody really grappling with these big ideas of division and how we're all connected. It's incredibly personal, super immediate, and yeah, it's just one more piece of this absolutely chaotic puzzle we're looking at. So let's recap. We have a court file, lizard people, and a passionate social media post. What in the world could possibly connect these things? Well, when we're faced with this kind of chaos, our brains just instinctively try to build a story. We have to make it make sense. And it turns out, most of us, whether we realize it or not, use one of two major frameworks to do just that.
Okay, let's dive into that first framework. We'll call it the secret history. This is the worldview that says, hey, what you see on the surface, that's not the real story. The basic idea is that behind the curtain, there are these powerful forces secretly pulling all the strings, shaping events, and the real truth, well, that's only known to a select, powerful few.
And a really key concept here is something called artificial misery. Think about it like this. Money isn't really scarce, right? It can literally be created out of thin air. So why is there poverty? Well, this worldview argues it's not an accident. It's manufactured on purpose. This artificial misery is what makes money seem valuable and what forces people to work inside a system designed by, you guessed it, a powerful few.
And believe me, this line of thinking can be taken to its absolute wild extreme. You take someone like David Icke. For him, the ultimate secret history isn't even about human elites. Nope. He argues that global power is secretly controlled by non-human, shape-shifting reptilians. I mean, that is the ultimate hidden story right there.
So just to quickly sum up the secret history worldview, it's pretty simple. Nothing is what it seems. Reality as you know it, it's a fabrication. There are hidden forces guiding everything. And the only way you're ever going to find the real truth is to connect the dots between all the things the official sources refuse to talk about.
All right, so let's pivot to the second framework. And this one builds a very different kind of story. It's called the official record. This is the world of, sanctioned bureaucratic systems. It's the history we learn in school, the data that gets logged away in government databases.
Just take a look at this. It's a real log of Freedom of Information Act requests. And look at that description column. You see it? Withheld. Over and over and over again. This is kind of the nature of the official record. The story it tells is often a story of redaction, of information that's been deliberately left out. And it's the same thing with the legal system, right? It creates its own narrative through these super dense, rule-bound documents just like this one. Its story is told through things like case numbers, statutes, and formal procedures. It's all about imposing order, but it's an order that can feel so impersonal, just completely removed from any real human experience.
I mean, just think about how we record history. What do these three events have in common? Christopher Columbus setting sail, the NBA being formed, and Martha Stewart's birthday. The answer? Absolutely nothing, except that they all happened on August 3rd. See, the official record often creates these connections that are totally arbitrary. But here's the thing. Whether the story it tells is arbitrary or a deep secret, it always has a very real human cost. Because we can't forget, behind all the secret histories and all the official records, there are real people. Their lives are being shaped by these big frameworks and these abstract theories. They have very concrete consequences.
Remember that case number we started with? Well, it's not just a number. It belongs to a man named David Parker. And this number right here, that is the exact amount of child support the state of Missouri says he owes as of September 5th, 2025. $1,119.10.
And just like that, an abstract legal file suddenly has a very real, very tangible weight.
And if you look at his story, the one told by the official record, it's basically a timeline of legal actions. You can see a whole life just charted out through petitions and hearings and court orders, stretching all the way back over 40 years. That impersonal case number, it's actually a multi-decade human story, just told in the cold, hard language of the court.
And for the people who get caught inside these systems, the experience can be absolutely devastating. There's this one guy, Michael, who after facing homelessness described it like this. He said the system is a risky place to be vulnerable because it's like a machine that can take a person's pain and just twist it into shame.
And that kind of pressure, that feeling of just being ground down by the system, it creates this raw, angry perspective. It leads to this belief that money, the one thing that both the official record and the secret history seem to revolve around, has basically replaced everything else. A feeling that love and connection, they just can't survive in a world like that.
So when you step back, it doesn't matter if you're looking at a government file or a global conspiracy theory. What you're really seeing is the exact same fundamental human drive at work. It's the search for a story, any story really, that makes sense of all the chaos. And right here, you've got two totally competing stories side by side. On one hand, the official record, all signed and sealed by the court. It's a narrative of procedure. And on the other hand, you've got the personal mission of an artist who just wants to wake people up. But look closer. They're both attempts to do the same thing, create an authoritative narrative, to impose their own specific order on the world. And really, this is what it all boils down to. The person filing a court petition to protect someone they love, and the person trying to expose some hidden truth they believe is threatening all of humanity, deep down they're both driven by the exact same impulse. They are building a story, trying to make sense of the world and ultimately protect what matters most to them.
So in this massive storm of court files and strange beliefs and just endless data, you're in it too. You are also a storyteller. You are also connecting the dots every single day. So the only real question left is, what story are you building?